I hope you had a wonderful time over the weekend. Um, Youth is one of the main topics that we've covered on this program a couple of times. But this time around, I've got somebody who campaigned for the Nigerian presidential election and is a very, very important man, especially here in the UK because of the kind of things that he has done. Mr. Alistar Soyode, who is also uh, the CEO of Ben Television. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Barkas the Salah to the viewers that are celebrating Salah today.
Thank you very much. You campaigned for presidential elections in Nigeria, and one of your slogans was that it's our time. This is something I quoted from one of the speeches that you gave, and it was quite amazing because people like us who have known you for quite, some time, for a long time, said it was a bit of a surprise that you're going to campaign to be the next president of Nigeria, and we're all shouting, "Our man is on his way." We just wish we could all go and put the votes there for you. First and foremost, how was the experience like?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Steve, to be here. It is indeed a big and a major achievement in terms of experience and coming across somebody who has been in the diaspora, but somebody who has been working with potential leaders in Africa and more so in Nigeria, which is my primary country. And then to start thinking about the way that we need to support our leaders, and we're talking about issues that are challenging, but at the same time, we know Nigeria as a global player has got tremendous resources in that country. And so for us who are sitting on the sideway or who are friendly with people in authority, and we begin to complain about the issues, then the best thing now that we can do in trying to create solution is by joining the race. And for us, and for me personally as well, with my team and people that we've been talking about, been a former chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, NIDO, which is a global think tank of Nigerians professionals, highly skilled, and basically any Nigerian who lives outside the country. Looking at it, the deeper and the interesting part is, do we have the capacity to continue to complain and criticize those who are standing, who stood, and who were elected to become leaders when we ourselves do not want to be in that position, or we do not think we have the authority or the capacity and the potential to be leaders? And as we're thinking about this, then really and truly for me is like, well, we have the capacity. We have the
Where did the idea come from?
Well, you see, before actually going into it, as somebody who has been working with men, youth, and leaders, and developing leaders, we thought, well, what we can do to galvanize and strengthen and mobilize Nigerian people as the election 2019 was approaching is to go into the field and begin to educate people. And in terms of educating men, basically, we need to tell them what they need to do to find the right candidate within their existing political party. So we didn't go out as a political party. We went in as a movement called Yes Nigeria Movement.
All right,
So Yes Nigeria Movement is basically saying, do you want a better country? And everybody's saying yes.
Of course,
Do you want good leaders? Yes. So in that case, let's think about Yes Nigeria. Nigeria first rather than you and I. And then so we went into the hinterland, we went into the villages, into the cities, talking about potentials of candidate in either party, whatever party that person belongs to. Try and encourage that party to recognize the person. And in within your own community, you believe that there are leaders, then maybe you need to encourage them to join a party so that that party likewise can endorse that candidate. So that you in your locality will now go and vote for that person because you know who the person is. So the movement will continue around the country, Yes Nigeria. And as we continue branding that movement, people were asking, why not you? You're telling us, but if we can't identify that, especially at the state level and at the national level, why not Steve? Why not Alistair? Why not Ali? Why not Andrew? Why not Mary? Why not Emeka? Why not Omomi? Why not these people to go into politics? And then from there, then the concept of the movement, we now pull out and then went for a political party, and we registered our own political party called Yes Nigeria. Just basically Yes Party in Nigeria.
Now, other presidential candidates were looking down upon you And
Sure.
I could read some of the comments that were being made by Buhari and, his colleagues. And, it was, no. Those are no players. Those are maybe they're trying to find a way of stealing some of our votes, but they're not going anywhere. And I think one of the interviews which was given by the other man, the PDP presidential candidate, was quite an interesting one, because he was only looking at Buhari. He wasn't looking at anyone else, and said, no, we are the two people involved in this, and no one else has go. But then the voices were being heard, especially people were coming up and showing their voices. Now, I'm wondering, how did you view the other two main leaders who have been in existence for a long time? Two political parties, yeah.
One has to be realistic that in Africa, the African politics is totally different from the Western politics.
Yeah,
that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, the president in Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah.
He tried 4 times.
And he failed. Yeah.
Before becoming the president.
Yeah.
His Excellency Atiku has been trying, either not getting the ticket of a political party, and the first time that he managed to, which is this election 2019, indeed they thought that the election belongs to the two of them.
Yeah.
But the reality is there are more than 65 political parties that participated in the 2019 election.
Wow.
Now the picture is, a lot of people believe that the younger generation or the youth or the younger presidential candidate and political party should have joined hands together and pick a consensus candidate.
Yeah.
That they failed, that completely, collectively we failed to do that, to recognize the fact. Now in Nigeria, as a template, anybody that ignores religion and the region is totally not right.
Yeah.
Okay. Religion and ethnicity and region plays a major role in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So for me, as I was going in, I've done my calculation that if there is amount of money that is needed, if we're able to generate this amount of money, I absolutely believe without any doubt that we could have won the election 2019. No doubt, because when you do the calculation, there's more than 80 million people that are actually registered to vote in Nigeria. Only about 36 million people actually went out to vote. Now, what happened to the remaining maybe 45 million people that don't register? So our calculation is scientifically and using the ethnicity side and the region and religion who have allowed the new emerging presidential candidate and political party to have won this election. Because we're talking about 16 million.
About 60 million people.
16 million people that actually allow the party that won to be in office.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we come up with 20 million or 17 million, there is no way that the two major parties could have been shouting the way they are doing it. Okay. So we fail Nigeria in not recognizing that we should have teamed up together and present a candidate.
Right. You've mentioned 2 or 3 things which are important. And one of the things that you haven't mentioned is money, because money plays a massive role in Nigerian politics.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the malpractices that come with it. How were you financially prepared? Because that's one of the things that, as you mentioned, there's a lot involved there. The cabals, so we hear, who have to be paid here and there. There's, the various people would want to receive things at the end of the rally and stuff like that. How were you prepared for this?
I mentioned earlier saying that there is an amount that we budgeted. That if we're able to generate that money, then surely enough we can have won the election.
Okay.
For me personally and our team, we speak Hausa, which is a predominant language in Nigeria.
All right.
We understand the religious angle because we have the Muslim and the Christian, and we are totally believing that religion should be out of the Nigerian politics.
Okay.
So that's number 2. Number 3, as I said, if we have teamed up together, then winning the election could have been much more easier. Because if only 17 million people actually voted for the incumbent president you have to agree that the remaining 40 million are not hungry people.
Oh, right,
Okay? So if people are saying, well, those that are following a particular political party are people who haven't got anything, well, then what happened to the 45 million people that have something?
Yeah.
They didn't go out to vote. Okay? Now, if they did, the story would be different. So for me personally and my team, as much as people want to criticize the president and the other team, you have to ask the question, what role did they play in allowing that political party to have been in office? Rigged or not rigged? Yeah? Because the remaining percentage, almost 50 to 60%, didn't go out to vote.
Okay. With your calculations, did you have enough money?
I didn't have enough money.
You didn't.
None of the other candidates, well, I say probably have got that amount of money.
Yeah.
But as I said, we budgeted. We calculated that if we can just hit this amount of money, we know what to do.
Okay.
It doesn't take rocket science, to be honest. It's not something, you know what you need to do. As you said, we are young.
Yeah.
We understand global community.
Okay.
We understand Nigeria, because the fact of the matter, anybody that now write about Nigeria, how old is he? They're probably between the age of 30 to 55, not more than 60.
Yeah.
So if we are within that bracket, then it means, like us as well, we understand Nigeria. We eat Nigeria. We sleep Nigeria. So there's no need for somebody to come and tell me something about Nigeria, for example. But by the way, I'm probably the oldest person who is Nigerian, who is in the media industry around the world. Indeed, in fact, I am. Right? We set up the first black TV station in Europe. So that is something.
Of course,
so, and it means that we have been interacting with all our leaders, not just Nigerian leaders, but African leaders and the Western leaders who want to deal with Africa and now, also Nigeria.
Another issue which is also sort of disturbed so many of us, especially we who are non-Nigerians, was the fact that when they postponed the elections, some people left Nigeria and said no, because of course they had budgeted, they would vote and then come back or something like that. Now, suggestions were being made that the Nigerian elections should have been like the Indian elections, whereby the Indians vote for the whole week. You have ample time, so there's no way you're going to tell me, because of course there are millions, there are more than Nigerians.
1.3 million, 600
so they say
people.
It should also go to Nigerian elections should have happened in a similar way, and then the postponement was such that it was actually, it helped Buhari. It helped Buhari to remain in office. Otherwise, you don't know. How did that affect you, the campaign altogether? Because you were there anyway.
I'm being realistic here that the postponement really has no effect on the remaining 60 plus presidential candidates.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
For me, weeks before the election, we know what position we're going to emerge, or at least I do.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no miracle about it. Maybe 2 months before the election, likewise, we'll have calculated our own position.
Okay.
Some people got votes, some people didn't, but the reality is it then become between the two big major political party. It's as simple as ABCD. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Okay?
Yeah.
But of course, if then now, as there's a case against the winning party from the nearest political party, but if they have a case, to be honest, all the remaining 60 plus presidential candidates to have a case.
Yeah.
Likewise, they can challenge the outcome of the whole election. Is a fact.
Yeah.
But the postponement really and truly is something that they felt that they have to do in order to be sympathetic towards either a group or a political party.
Because the suggestion was that if there were certain areas that they believed votes, ballot papers hadn't reached and so on, then he could have postponed in those areas and let the rest of it go. That's why they've said, look,
there shouldn't be any postponement, to be honest.
In certain areas, so that
Shouldn't.
No,
Shouldn't.
It
Nigeria is the most populous black nation. Nigeria used to be the #1 economy on the African continent.
Yeah.
There is no industry in the world, there's no service industry in the world that you will not find a Nigerian.
Yeah.
So we should not be facing issues that are really, really irrelevant. And I'm sorry to say, there shouldn't have been any postponement of 2019 election in Nigeria.
Now, another thing that I want to quote you on was you mentioned the freedom of information. And this, so many people, even in my own country, were saying, oh, it was a good idea. Freedom of information to come out and spray it around. And as a media person, that's very, very important because this information is kept from people, even if it's taken 20, 30 years ago. Whereas in the Western world, that information is released and it becomes a learning, something that everybody learns about. Now, as you're saying, where the money goes, corruption and all that, it would help a lot in stamping out corruption because then you learn from what happened in the past. do you want to do anything about that? Huh? Because
freedom of information or no freedom of information or anything really needs to work where the rule of law
exists.
Yeah. In Nigeria and many countries, that doesn't work. So even if they give me the information as requested, which again, because it has been approved, is a bill, is there to be executed. When people ask for it, they need to be given without any delay. So that has been breached so many times. But again, where you make a request and the request is given to you, and that nothing happened, then it's as good as no freedom of information.
Oh, right,
Yeah? Okay, you've given me, well, you talk about corruption or criminal activities, because actually I cannot identify anything called corruption. I don't know anything called corruption. Yeah? I don't believe in corruption. I believe that, is it a criminal offense to collect money without doing the job? Is it a criminal offense for doctors not to treat patients? Is it a criminal offense not to build a road? If it is a criminal offense, then let the judges, let the judiciary take full force on whoever broke that contract. Simple and short. And if you call that corruption in the generality of criminality, then it's fine. But is it wrong to do what is wrong? And the answer is right. Then please deal with it. Allow the armed forces, the police, whoever, the EFCC, the IPCC,
all the institutions
let them be independent and deal with the person.
Because then, but the key thing is, how was that going to be established? Because when you suggested it, you said, look, we could, maybe if we look at where the holes are, because I have a quote where you're saying the holes are there. So if we know that this is how much of oil we're getting with our revenue, annual revenue, and it's given out to us, then we know last year we sold this amount of oil. Where has all the money gone? Nobody we can trace the money. We can do this because that information comes out.
It's like a remittance. Okay, Nigerians remit more than $22 billion on a yearly basis back home.
Back home,
Okay. That is the one that goes through the financial institution.
Because it comes from abroad, so it's easy.
What about the one that people carry on themselves into Nigeria or pay to somebody and that person give them local cash? That is probably another $25-30 billion going. So to be conservatively enough, you can say $50 billion is being remitted to Nigeria by Nigerians in the diaspora on a yearly basis. That now takes us to the oil issue. Whatever Nigeria announced in the international community, OPEC, it will be definitely and absolutely different from actually the amount generated directly or indirectly from oil in Nigeria. Okay? So there is a lot of things that we have to do as a nation if we want to be sincere to ourselves. Many people who the Lord has given authority or given a good position to in life do not need to hang around in any African country, be it Nigeria. They can always move to another country. So they will not suffer the consequences and the reason why people like us went into politics. The good thing is, you cannot tell us that we did not try. As young Nigerians or as average age Nigerians, that we felt we could and we went for it. And so anybody who feel otherwise, then should wake up or stand up and say, arise, O Nigeria. This is what I'm doing for that country. So all this loophole, definitely they need to be. We need to close the gaps. And hopefully, as our president for now is there, he hasn't formed his cabinet, maybe this is the time for them to recognize Nigerians at home, Nigerians outside the country that can contribute immensely into making the country much more better. Technology is there.
Of course, Now, talking about Nigerians in diaspora, I attended an event, a Ghanaian event last week. And it was to do with the, what's going on in Ghana. And, they are trying their level best to make sure that Ghanaians go home and contribute and so on. And I was talking to one politician within the government of Ghana, and just briefly. And he said, look, Ghana is even trying to open up a ministry which will be dealing with those in diaspora, in a sense that if there are positions in Ghana which can be taken by those in diaspora, then those positions should be taken. If it means giving them the same money we give the expatriates, then Ghana will do that, so that we have most of them coming back and help. And we're even willing to take in Nigerians or Ugandans who can come, for example, get a job, because you'll be encouraging our people to work hard, because they look at you, they know you are one of us. Now, a long time ago, this was suggested in Nigeria by somebody, and it wasn't taken up. You think it can exist in Nigeria?
It is in existence now. It is in existence. We have been front runners to set up and call for the government to set up the Diaspora Commission. So right now we do have a Diaspora Commission. It has been approved and the president has put it together, and the diaspora community are monitoring everything. We have a new chairman of the commission. We have the executive secretary for the commission. So we are ready.
But they're not willing to give you the vote yet.
No, there's a different, the vote would definitely come now, at least with the Diaspora Commission established. What we now need to do is to make sure that our own commission recognize the diasporan professionals and the diasporan leader organization that have the executive to be part and parcel of that commission. Because fact of the matter is, you still cannot employ people who don't know anything about diaspora. You still should not employ people who don't understand the global language. So, and the only people that can change things around is by bringing these executives from the diaspora to join the commission, and then I begin to implement the policies. Nigeria, many African countries do not like policy. They don't like ideas. The problem is implementing it. And because many people have been eaten from the other side, it's not that easy for them to be totally neutral, but you can definitely put new people into the places and they'll be much more neutral and deliver what is needed.
Now, during the campaign, you commented so much on the youth. You concentrated so much on the youth. And as to quote you, this is our time. And it was a very good one. But one of the things that surprised me, and this woman had talked about it, the former Nigerian finance minister, Ngozi, I think is her name, that most political parties, or most, Nigeria is a male-dominated society. Women are always
there are many African countries apart from now, South Africa and
the women are
Rwanda.
Always forgotten. Now, you didn't mention, if you had succeeded, how many women you're going to have in your cabinet, how many women, whether it is even a women's wing of the Yes campaign, which was existing in there. I was looking through everything, the manifesto, and I couldn't find anything connected with that. How do you manage to get these votes and without getting these people on board? Because they are also you
have to be realistic. There's a difference between trying to recognize something that exists and something that always in front of you.
Oh, really?
So for me, really and truly, it's not about women. It's about the merit. The credibility, the professionalism of them joining forces. So, for example, during one of our manifesto, basically is a wow factor of saying yes, and it's a Y-E-E-E-E-E all the way to the S. So first word is youth, and then the economy, the employment, enterprise in it, or looking after our elders, which is another E. And then we now talk about how do we bring in the expertise, which is another E. So which means really we're not looking at you because you're a woman or because you're a man. We're looking at you. Do you have the expert? Do you have the experience, which is another E? So we talk about all that, including education, which is another E. So we look across what is needed in the country. But no matter, again, how rich you are, how successful you are, the last letter for our yes factor was S. So without security, you can have the Ferrari, you can have the big house, you can have the electricity. No security, you cannot enjoy all those things.
You know, the reason why I've gone on about it is the fact that I've seen Rwanda being so successful in putting women at the forefront. And I've also seen where here, like where we are now in London, where they said, okay, what we're going to do is they're going to make a quota of those who are coming in are going to be They may be highly qualified, but they don't stand a chance if the men are seated next to them. So the chances are, if you give them their own role, somehow the multiplication, the figures will go up, and they will help in so many other ways. That's why I'm quoting that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but as I said, it's a general platform.
You're probably thinking, this guy.
For you to look at it and say, well, we have women, we have ladies, we have girls.
Yeah.
So we have every person, every type of Nigerian that you can think of in the party.
Okay.
So it's not about, I don't want to use the word godfatherism. It's not about that. It's about really looking at people who have the passion for the country and who believe in the ideology of the party.
Okay.
We have a party who have no money. We don't have money. Even if we have the money, we're not going to distribute. And we did not distribute any money to anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We are serving the country. We are putting our own resources into trying to do what we want to do. Of course, after the election, we realized, or even during the election, we give our forms away to candidates, all for free. Then we now woke up one day and said, wait a minute, the big political parties were selling their forms.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yet every Nigerian is talking to us saying, make sure your form is free.
Yeah.
Make sure your form is free. Suddenly, well, yes, we did give the forms out for free. But now, how do we submit the form back to the regulators, which means INEC? How do we do all the administration in the office to make sure that the forms were completed and delivered on time? It costs money.
Yeah.
But then I'm now already marginalized. I'm already now at the minus because the other political party that I'm challenging, they raise billions.
Of course, yeah.
From selling form. Then Nigerians of high worth contributed to these political parties. So how are we really going to do this? Yeah? But at the end of the day, every journey begins with a step.
Of course, yeah.
So we have taken that step.
Yeah.
And we're now looking forward to telling people more about the yes, telling people about leadership, mentoring people who want to go into politics. So it has nothing to do with me apart from the founder of this movement. Just like God used me to found the first ethnic black African Nigerian TV station in Europe. So I have to look at that and say, I've done my job. Now it's down to the other people to deliver, to join hands and create that platform that can help Nigeria, our country, to move to a better and a greater level as a nation.
Right. As a media person, as rightly you said about the TV you founded here and the media powerhouse you have and where you've been, you've seen the media in Africa and you've seen the problems that the media is having. In fact, I remember Dele somebody, one of the Nigerian journalists, was killed with a letter bomb or something like that. There was a lot. Other journalists have faced quite a lot in Nigeria. But again, when you look at it, is that you have the passion to sort of tell them, say, listen, if we are honest with each other, we'll make a better Nigeria. Is there something else other than of course, during the election, the fight for elections? Is there something within the media world in which you're helping out the media and the media powerhouse to be passionate and to report correctly on certain things? Because sometimes when you read what they write about, it's like straight away you know he's bent towards so and so. Either money has taken off or something that they even don't tell the truth. Because, I mean, we are looking at Donald Trump now complaining. He says, look, he calls media fake news all the time because most of them are saying, no, it's not fake news because we are reporting what is there. But he's looking at it as it's fake news. And the question is, how are you, as a media person, trying to see to it that the Nigerian media remain passionate with the reality, the truth?
It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Let's be realistic. It's not that easy. Because first and foremost, Nigeria as a nation, and many across Africa, a lot of people are suffering. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when you talk about welfare for workers, general, is bad. How much more in the media, which is now than the industry. More than 50% media houses technically do not really pay people, right? Because there's a belief, which likewise I followed, in believing that when the field soldiers are out there, they more or less sometimes make more money than the company.
Oh, really?
Because the people that they're covering
Yeah.
outside tend to mobilize and give them the transport money to get to the venue.
All right.
Okay?
All right, yeah.
They may have to pay them to make sure that they go back to the office to file the report.
Okay. Okay.
So you can say that then the media is not totally neutral because of the contribution of the client whose story needs to go out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then those that are owned by government are not neutral because they do not allow opposition to have a say on the platform.
Yeah.
Yet they may probably have the widest reach. So with that again, is not, you cannot equate them to be the same. So majority will not have to go to the field, believing that whatever event they cover and whatever story that needs to come out from here will not be as hard, as punchy as the reporter writing an independent storyline.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then it will be easy for me to say it's fake.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm quoted and saying Mr. Steve
Yeah.
on social television says so and so,
Yeah.
and so you may abuse whoever. Now I'm actually quoting you,
Of course. Yeah.
rather than me writing and giving an independent, neutral news,
Yeah. Yeah.
documentary, whatever it is. So it is very hard. But again, the government is not giving the media enough authority and freedom to exercise their right by reporting the story as seen.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it means that the media need to come together, bond together, and then attack issues stronger together, making it worthy, not afraid of reporting it the way it is. And I always say and repeat, if the media will rise up in Nigeria together, honestly, Nigeria will be better, greater within a year. If they begin to report, not being biased, just report. And then hopefully by being independent, maybe the businesses will be able to subscribe more to that media outfit. But again, there's a lot of media businesses in Africa, more so in Nigeria. But I think what the media need to do, if they bond together, we unite and we're speaking with one voice, acting together, our country will be better.
I think what you could possibly do, as you did with the Ben TV, if you start up something, a media organization, for example, and say, look, anybody who wants to can join us, and this is what we do, then you start a kind of a campaign to foster the passion of the truth to come out.
True.
Then you got I mean, you can always be started. You can always start that, and then that might be of help.
I have done few things in that direction. I have done few things in that direction. And the other thing now that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reduce my interest in media, which hopefully will allow me to talk more in terms of governance and leadership in Nigeria and across Africa. So this is something that I'm working on. And I hope that if you're interested, you can come in and write me a check and take over Ben TV or somebody. You may have some rich guys. So,
you never know. You never have.
You know, it's not easy. Has been the first black TV station which is recognized, and then people have accepted and taken it on board as our own TV. And so now I want to, with a new management or with a new team or with new people on board, they say, right, no, now we can go commercial actually. No, it is there, but we need to turn it around. With the situation happening in the United Kingdom, that we don't know which government is leading, we don't know if we're going out of EU, the Brexit situation, and then we're seeing what's happening in London as of this week with the visit of the American president. So there's a lot of things that will challenge the black African, the ethnic Africans, the ethnic Caribbeans, the black people in the United Kingdom. There's a lot, and the media right now has got a bigger role to play in empowering that black community more than ever. And more so again on the African continent. We're talking about African Union, what they're doing, but they recognize the diaspora as our sixth region to develop Africa. But again, it means that we need to, as people, speak stronger, speak wider, with one voice. And without that, people, as we have read so many times and reported so many, people have been removed from different countries. without any noise, and the Western media will not do the beat
Of course,
for the African issues.
They look for the negative side of it. That's what sells to them.
That's correct.
Yeah,
but then Africans go to the Western media and spend hundreds of millions
and tons of money
advertising.
Well, I think it comes down to the training. We probably need to be more educated on that issue. That listen, even what is yours can actually be good.
Sure.
It's not necessary that what is Western can be good. Yours can be good.
Absolutely.
As Ghana is trying to do.
As Nigeria is trying to. As Nigeria has done.
Nigeria is trying to do the same.
Nigeria has done it. We've done it.
Okay, I agree with you. Now, during the elections, I'm always referring to the elections because it was so fascinating, and watching you campaigning, watching you bringing out whatever you brought out was quite very interesting. You said that Nigeria has 145 registered private jets, and this is quite a lot on the African continent. It's the highest, I think, almost next to Europe and America in private jets. Now, the question is where this money coming from. Okay, they are footballers, they are those and all that, but somewhere along the way, a taxation could come out where some of these people not really taking their jets away.
Nigeria doesn't really need to tax people that have private plane. But the figure there is roughly about 100. In general, during campaign season, a lot of people will be hiring different planes
to go
to execute their jobs. And of course, the Nigerian authority says that roughly there's just about 75 or so really registered private plane in Nigeria. And most of them are owned by southeastern businessmen, more than any other part of the country, because they have tons over there. Now, when you look at it, is not just the issue of taxation. Taxation cannot really do much. Of course, it will contribute to the income of the country. But we have oil. We have natural resources. We have minerals. Okay. There's a state in the northern part of the country, for example, Taraba, that can generate so easily, if there is better system, good security, $1 billion a year minimum from tourism. There's a state in the southwest. The abundance of mineral resources there can allow them to generate easily $1 billion a year minimum. Easily. Okay. In the northern part of the country, with the vast land that we have in terms of agriculture, that we're talking about policy now to improve and increase the productivity. We have the capacity. Honestly, Nigeria should not be in the position she is. Okay? And then the purpose of leadership is to lead by example.
Of course,
If it is raining and we say it's raining, your followers, when they look through the windows, they will see that indeed it is raining, you're not lying. And they can follow you in that rain to a battle or to a party. There is a massive different disconnect in the system. Nigeria is blessed in terms of human capacity.
Of course.
We have it.
I was going to say something about that.
I'm sorry, I do not see any issue for Nigeria to be where she is. Then lack of will, lack of leadership. I'm not talking 100% bad leadership. No. But every leader should be accountable to the people. For example, now you have new governors. And immediately, some of them in the office, they're already doing the same thing as the other person is doing. Okay, there is no governor who should, because he now become a governor, should go and destroy somebody's house. For example, they say, yes, go and destroy it. Go and bring it down now. No, there has been a law. There must be a law. You may go to the National State Assembly or National Assembly to debate the issue and then approve a given before you go and knock it down, especially anything that has to do with the money of the state or the money of the nation. It belongs to all the citizens of that country. So there's a difference when people now become something they feel like is our own private entity, and it shouldn't be. But it will continue to be, because a goat can only produce a goat. A horse can only produce a horse. Some people are talking about, let's wait for the old politician to leave politics. And I'm saying that's absolutely wrong. And the reason why is parents, a father gives birth to a human being.
Yeah.
A bad politician will give birth to bad politicians. A good politician will give birth to good politicians. So if you eliminate one bad politician that you're just waiting for him to disappear,
Yeah.
and this politician has already produced 10
Yeah.
who are molded in his own image and likeness, you only have now 10 more people to fight, rather than thinking you have eliminated one.
Okay, that's a good policy.
Yeah?
It's a good way. I didn't know that. It's a good way you're analyzing it. Yeah.
Yeah? So if you say this governor is terribly bad, and this governor end up putting 24 local government chairmen without any election because he picked them as his boys or as his girls, and then make them become the chairman of that local government. They know nothing.
It's
So which means he has produced that 24 bad politicians. Now, I'm actually scared for my country, because we're now saying the local government chairman should be accountable, or the money, the budgetary money, should be given to them directly.
Yeah.
The question is, were they trained?
Yeah.
Are they trained? Are they expert? Are they businessmen? Or are they thugs who were now being given the mandate to become a local government chairman, who has never been given 1 million by the governor at any given time? The governor will give him what he wants to give him, not because it is the necessary official budget or fund that needs to go to that local government.
Okay.
Now we now say, wired 100 million to the local government chairman. Excuse me. He has never been given a 10 million to execute a project. Now you're giving 100 million. So I will request, for example, before you wire any money to them, train them. Make sure that the law of the land for misappropriation of fund is implemented, and they know the moment you miss a step, you're gone straight to jail.
Two things that you did mention, and one of them was that, of course, the population of Nigeria, and the UN estimates, you're raising up to nearly 200 million.
We are more than 200 million.
In the next 50 years.
Yes.
So, but nothing is being planned to do something.
How do you know?
Well, it's mentioned that when the future plans of what is going to happen in Nigeria are happening in the private sector.
They did mention that there won't be Nigeria by 2015.
No, in the private sector, there's a lot being done. But as far as the governments are concerned, it is a plan for tomorrow or planned for 2-3 years. But, if you're planning for the next 25 years and the plan is already executed and it's there, whether you're there or not, somebody would always follow that plan, because this is what UN says we're telling Africa.
Sure.
Now, you did mention that, I think, in one of your manifestos about using the population the way China did to aid Nigeria in terms of a human population, if we are to build industries. And in fact, you mentioned somebody who has an industry in China, when he should have had that industry in Nigeria, because the population of Nigeria, China is bigger than that of Nigeria, but why not bring it to Nigeria? So the development, the private sector was one of the things that you concentrated on. And one of the things I learned from the PDP chairman here was that, in fact, they are now looking at some of the things which were brought out by other political candidates to see which ones they can take on board, which was quite nice. But the question is, when you look at it, wouldn't it involve government funding most of these projects to ensure that the population is well catered for?
Well, the private sector is the engine of growth in Africa, and more so in Nigeria. The manufacturing sector, for example, I've worked with the African Business Roundtable, ABR, with Dr. Bamanga Tukur, who believes that we need to strengthen the private sector. We need to make sure that our capacity to manufacture is improved and increased. But you have a problem. Power.
Of course, of course.
Right? Nevertheless, the likes of our Innoson, who manufacture, assemble cars in Nigeria, in fact, they have brought out their own design, which the government try to tell people that we must buy made in Nigeria product. But you see, the problem is they are not implemented. They are not enforced. And which means if somebody says that we're going to buy so-so cars, all you have to do is check what companies are they going to buy the cars from. Are they foreign or are they Nigerian made? Because we have them. So if we begin to encourage our own, then definitely industries will increase, job will be created, we'll have lesser unemployed youth, unemployed graduates, and even the country would be better. I would like to keep saying this will be better and greater, because Nigeria has been great.
Of course, yeah.
Now we just need to be greater, and for us to be greater, we need to drop that issue of that religion and ethnicity and allow people to fly. So when we talk about China, for example, yes, a lot of people, especially those who are in the industries, feels that it is cheaper for them to manufacture and produce in China and still bring it back home at a lesser price than doing it at home and face a lot of challenges in terms of taxes, double taxation, power. We do. If you go to places like in the Southeast where they produce shoes and all the stuff, and especially in Anambra and all the places, we have the capacity to feed all the ECOWAS countries. We have the capacity to supply in Africa. We have the capacity with the necessary leaders to supply the world. The question is, it's not about who are you and what have you been doing, but really is going deep down and ask, where are you actually coming from? What have you done to become a leader? Why do I need to vote for you? I have come across people that, to be honest, I've never heard of them in politics. Neither have I heard of them in terms of leadership. But of course, if there's a vacuum anywhere, anybody can emerge. And that's the reality of life. So whoever emerged to say, I want to contest something, I give him respect for even thinking that they have the capacity and the capability. Now, the difference is now, okay, let's sit down. Who are you? I'm Mr. Steve. What do you do? I'm a broadcaster. Then I can Google you and check, oh, yeah, Steve is a broadcaster. Well, BBC, Ben, and now doing all this thing. Yes, it is true. Who are you, Alistar? Blah, blah, blah. So there's that identification. Now, I can sit down and say, right now, I do not think a Southeastern African is requested for this position. Yeah? And then between all of us, we can now agree. Now, if somebody tell me that they have reached the pinnacle of their career, I say, well, I've reached the pinnacle of my career too. Is that correct? Because I've done this, I've done that. So who are you? Not just because you stand to be a leader does not make you a leader.
Get your
a CEO of a company is a CEO of a company. But what is the value of his company? How many staff does he have in his company? How long has his company been going? But he can register a company today and print a business card and put CEO. Red Flower Roses Delivery. He is a CEO.
Of course he is.
Right?
He is,
But we're not in the same league with other CEOs. Okay? But it's the same title.
I know, I understand. You've tested the elections. You've tested the power now. Are we looking at the next elections and you standing up again for the year's campaign and saying, with the past experience, with the experience that you've had now?
You know, right now, the way I'm seeing life, I'm actually enjoying life, and I really want to enjoy life.
Okay.
And meaning that whatever it is that I do, I'm grateful to God. Yeah? If I close my eyes and I'm no more here tomorrow, I want to be grateful to God that this is what I have done while I was breathing.
Of course.
Okay?
Of course,
Now, looking to the future, even the standing in 2019 was not just something that was planned for the last 10 years. So we're going to get to this stage and then I'm going to declare. No. It was a process. So if, as we continue, I really honestly feel that I need to contribute to the development of my country. But that could be my own choice.
Of course.
Rather than other people saying this is it. Now, again, based on what I have seen in 2019, I'm grateful to Vamoose to come back to my daily bread. You see, when you have a job, you do not need to wait on politicians.
Of course not,
Okay? So I have a job, and I want to rebrand the job I'm doing by educating people who want to go into politics, educating people who want to become leaders. What does it take to stand? What does it take when you think some people are looking out for you? What does it take to think about, can your tomorrow be better than your yesterday? Those are the things that I want to, and that's why I'm doing this mentoring with other people. You say, well, my experience is as good as if I can share with other people who can even make it better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get your point. Now, one of the other things which were mentioned was the fact that one of the reasons maybe you didn't do very well was the fact that you're not living in Nigeria, and the Nigerians usually go for somebody who is on the ground. And I remember I've got a friend of mine who's standing as a senator
yes.
In one of the states in Nigeria, and he left here, and he says he's going to be on the ground for at least a year or 2 years on the ground, and then when he starts his campaign, everybody has seen him, and from there it would be very easy for him to become a senator. Unfortunately, he didn't succeed.
Okay.
He didn't succeed. But when he was here on a visit, he said, "Well, Steve, I'm going back again anyway. I know why they didn't elect me as a senator, but I'm going to do my best that this time it's going to work." Now, do you look at yourself and say, "Okay, if it's going to happen, let me go and live in Nigeria"? And
I'm more of an optimist than anything.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in that.
You don't believe in that?
No. Fact of the matter is, in every situation, it's always good to have a presence.
Yeah.
The party has a presence.
Okay.
Now, the losing parties in Nigeria, are they not in Nigeria?
They're in Nigeria.
So, they didn't win. So that means it doesn't work. It just depends on, can you reach the people?
Yeah.
They spend billions upon billions of dollars.
Yeah.
They still didn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
We have candidates that are contested presidential where they transversed Nigeria for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Everywhere they were there.
Yeah.
They didn't win.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me, indeed, I did the calculation. I spoke to people. People say, "Well done, let's go."
Yeah.
And that's why I said I'm a better teacher now, a better coach, a better mentor, by people telling you something. And then again, they may see you actually, wow, he's actually doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm going to call him His Excellency now?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
There's pride, there's arrogance
Yeah.
in people when you try to do something that they feel shouldn't be done.
Yeah.
And we're all together drinking tea, and suddenly now you are drinking golden tea with a golden cup.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game.
I know.
So I learned a lot from that, and that's why I'm saying I'm very experienced. When we talk about the diaspora, leadership, governance, at least I can say, ladies and gentlemen, God gave us breath.
Yeah.
He gave us energy. We went to Nigeria. We campaigned. We shared experience. We learned. We know who to deceive and how they deceive, and we know who to be praised and how to praise. There's a massive difference, which I'm grateful that I have captured. So I can sit down with people, as I said, share this experience with them, transfer knowledge, so that they know what needs to be done. If people are hungry, they don't care about your policy. I'm just hungry. And I have been hungry for the last 5 years. So if you want to come and tell me policy, yes. But even if it is a peanut, give them. But again, I believe with a considerable budgeted amount, anybody can still win the election in Nigeria, because 60%, more than 60% Nigerians didn't vote in 2019. And not every Nigerian can a politician or political parties buy. Never. Cannot be done.
Now, one other thing which I remember Femi Okutubo, a very good friend of mine, once told me is that there's a lot of respect by the youth to the elders, as Nigerians are trained. You've got to respect your father.
Sure.
You've got to respect your... Now, the youthfulness in how you are, and the mentoring that you're doing with the young people obviously gives you an edge. But at the same time, there is that an education thing from the background where someone will say, "No, he's just like me, but I don't think he can make a good president." Well, I don't think he can make a good, because they see themselves as you. Unlike football, where France was just won the European League. He's always with his boys. He's everywhere. He's almost like them. So when he says something, okay, it's respected and so on. But one of the things he said is that when you are together with them, you're part of them. So they don't want to let you down. Now, a similar thing could happen with the youth that you're mentoring and so on. And when you try that during the election, the respect that somebody would give an elder person more than you, couldn't that be a kind of, couldn't that be something that doesn't work in your favor?
No.
I felt maybe that.
No, there is a connection between myself and the younger and older generation. Yeah. See, when I came out as the bridge.
Ah, okay.
As the bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a northerner. I'm not a southerner.
Yeah.
I'm the bridge between the north and the south, because my parents are both north and south. Yeah. I'm the bridge between the Igbos and the Hausas, because I speak Hausa more than I understand Igbo.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm at the bridge between Yorubas and Hausas, because I've flipped between the two.
Okay.
I'm the bridge between the vice president then and the president, because I have Katsina blood in me, and I have Ogun State blood in me, and I have all the state blood in me. Yeah? I'm the bridge between Nigeria and the diaspora.
Okay.
Because I'm Nigerian, and I'm a former chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, and I operate my business in the diaspora. Yeah? So I'm a bridge between my leaders in Nigeria and global leaders, because I've interacted between the two, and I have engaged the two individually and collectively. So as a person in business, I'm privileged enough that I have met the Queen, the Prime Ministers, the Presidents, private dinner, private lunch, all to the glory of God for using me of what I'm doing in the United Kingdom. So I find myself as the bridge. In fact, we talk about the height between the leaders, that the president is taller than me, and I'm taller than the vice president, so I'm at the bridge between the two of them. So there's a lot of things that we were playing with, saying the bridge. And in true sense, speaking Hausa, speaking Yoruba, understanding Igbo is very key. We just didn't play the game because we calculated, as I said, you need that money, and without that money, I do not want to waste people's resources. So let's impart more on our local candidate than on our presidential bid.
Okay.
That is key. But at the same time, you're still standing, because even the president went 3 times before becoming the president. Even Atiku now can say he tried severally. Hopefully, in due time, he may become the president. So every attempt is count for you rather than against you. In the next election, if I'm standing, I know what to do. I know what experience I've gained in 2019. And I can share that with whoever may be standing in whatever party that my party may be supporting. So it's not about me, but surely enough, you can't take away the experience, and you can't take away what we learn, and neither can I deceive myself to say, no, I didn't learn something. I did.
How does education play a role? Because the literacy levels in Nigeria at the moment, I don't know, I haven't done a bit of research on that, but the fact that you have a certain level of people who vote certain ways because of their educational background, and then you have those who are voting in a different way because, of course, the level of education. Because rightly, as you said, the politics of Nigeria involves the religion, and it involves tribes as well as a key. But then education can be a key there, in a sense that, as you said, if you are educating them, you are teaching them something. They will see something in you.
That's correct.
Because you are teaching them something, and they will learn and say, next time, the best vote will go to somebody, even if it doesn't go to you, but they will be educated enough to know what to do. How do you see this as being part of your plans or part of the Yes movement?
Yes, well, the Yes movement definitely achieved a strong mileage through that enlightenment and education. Nigerians might be Western education, they may lack Western education, but they do not lack integrity education.
Oh, right.
Okay. Right. As much as people want to abuse Nigerians and saying we're so and so, no. Honestly speaking, when they come across a genuine person, they will follow you. And why? Because they know you're not deceiving them, and they know that you're not just taking away money that doesn't belong to you.
They will look through you.
They will look through you and appreciate you, and honestly, they will follow you. So the majority of people that voted in the 2019 election can be described to be uneducated by Western standard, but they definitely have a knowledge of education. Even the so-called Almajiri that we're talking about in the northern part of the country, I give the argument that they can read Arabic,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because that's the recitation. They may not speak English. In fact, almost every Nigerian at a certain level, you'll be able to speak broken English. Say you sabi those kind of things.
The pidgin English.
The pidgin English. Yeah, broken pidgin.
Yeah.
So we are there. Now, if the educated, the so-called Western educated people actually go out to vote, will they too be saying, now we're looking at this candidate, Mr. A, Mr. B, and saying he is dodgy, he is corrupt, he's a criminal? No. Please. And if you're telling me that the top two are the best candidate out there, then I think
there's something wrong.
There's something wrong. Let's be realistic about it. There's no shame about this thing. And to be honest, I look forward, like people will come in and say, oh, you stood for election president. How do you think you could do it? Excuse me, what role did you play? Before you criticize, ask yourself, what role did you play? If you're saying I couldn't, what about the other professor? What about the other doctor? What about the other diasporian? What about the other Ahmed? What about the Mohammed? What about Al-Haji? They all like, why useless, couldn't do it attitude. You complain about the other party that they brought us to this level, and then this new other party came in to win the election, and then now we're still complaining. No. There's something wrong fundamentally. So I'm not ashamed. I have been strengthened. I'm encouraged as a Nigerian to look and say, wow, this is it. But so in terms of that education, we can definitely educate people by being genuine, getting our message to them, and they can see us and feel us, and knowing that indeed when we say in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, in a year's time, this is what we would do, and they know we would do it. And we're telling people, for example, it's just that our message, the yes message, didn't get through. The yes message didn't reach the places that it's supposed to reach, because you need that money to get that message to this destination, right? We speak their language. Because if it is Hausa, well, let's go and speak the Hausa, right? Who are you? Where do you come from? This is who I am. This is where I'm coming from. Google it, check it, and check our name. But the message is getting to the people that we lack. So education is very key. Written or spoken is very key. And if you are able to achieve that, even without these big political parties to sponsor you, then you can sponsor yourself, and other people who believe in your ideology, believe in your personality, can hopefully make it happen. I'm probably the last person, one of the last person really that joined the race. Let's be realistic about it as well. It's just that there are a lot of conversation, discussion before the time. And many political parties want to know that if we give you our ticket, it's not wasted, that you're really coming into politics. So we need to see you declared, Alistar, before we agree that you are actually joining politics. And then with the lift of the diaspora, you made that happen. Then you move to the next level. Then you move. Then even then you're still slowing down to say, well, maybe we can get this consensus candidate. So I really don't want to waste my resources. In case they pick me, right, then we know how to deliver our market. In case we pick Mr. B, then we know how to use our resources to back him. So there was a lot of things that slow processing down, which is no regret. But at the end of the day, we could have done much more better.
Now, somebody, the deputy chairman, I think, of NBP, suggested that, because I put this across to them when they were here, and they said, oh, no, what happened is that I wish you had very good ideas. But they were saying, look, if you had stood, for example, as a senator for the first, stand as a senator, then we see your arguments while you are in the House of Representatives, you are there. You are arguing, you're putting your argument across. We see what you are doing, or even try to stand as the governor of one of the states and something like that. Then the message can go across. Do you see yourself?
Everybody has a calling in life.
Okay.
Everybody has a calling. When we have to start Ben television, I have no experience in television. You can classify me to be an ordinary footballer who just want to play football and make a living. So here am I, I didn't go to school to study mass communication, media, or television. I just realized that, wait a minute, who represents
There's
the black
nothing there.
people?
I can start something.
Who speak on behalf of the black people? There's none. So, what can I do it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you need millions.
Yeah.
Okay, well, but then the dream, the thought has been put on the table.
Yeah.
And now it's for me to start thinking. And I started,
Yeah.
and then apply for the license. Then just have the license, and then what next? Even when we were applying, people are like, oh, black television.
No, you won't get it. You won't get it.
What does a black TV do? So we became the template. We became the guinea pig.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you started the TV with no ever money to start to say here's money for 1 year. No, it's just like, wow. Now, well, maybe next month I might have it off. Or maybe next month. But to God be the glory. This is almost 2 decades of maybe tomorrow I'm off, maybe tomorrow, but I've done this long. So, as I said, everybody has his own calling.
Yeah.
We have been to places where we have sat down to pick a presidential candidate. We've been in places that have sat down in a committee to pick a governorship candidate. Ministers, senators, House of Rep, whatever it is, I have been part and parcel of playing a role somewhere. And as a Nigerian who prefer not to have a state of origin, then I just see myself as a product of Nigeria. So I don't want people to put me in a hole and say, I'm Yoruba, I'm Hausa and Igbo. Yes, I have my language. Yes, I have my tribe. Yes, I have my ethnicity. But I would always say, I'm just a Nigerian. So, and the only place that I felt I can make that national impact, even based on the argument, on the debate, on the presentation, let the other candidates know that this is what we are thinking about when we talk about nationalistic leadership. This is what we're thinking about when we're talking about nationwide governance. Not me being thrown in a corner. And how many senators are there that right now we can all wake up and say they made it really for the people?
Yeah.
Not that many. How many governors? Not that many. But the fact of the matter is, if the system keep producing, as I say, the same people who are not following due process, then we have a big battle in our hand. Because you eliminate the governor, but he has produced 20 local government chairmen. He has produced 20 SAs who all want to behave like him.
Exactly like him.
You have a president who produced 100 same like him. So you think one is out, but sorry, you have 100 now to deal with.
Who are behind him.
Exactly. So we really need to make sure that the law, our constitution, is upheld to the highest order.
I think where that is concerned, it's Africa's biggest problem, because where people are capable of doing certain jobs, they are prevented from doing those jobs, or they are not put in position where to do those jobs because they were put there by somebody. Someone just says, okay, so Alistar, tomorrow you're going to be so and so, without having passed through the normal channels of filtering out whether the person is capable of doing something or not. And this takes us back to the media, whereby the only way that can be eliminated is again by saying, okay, the media has put, you put out something in a newspaper that this job is being applied for, and everybody who can applies for that job.
Yes.
Then you start filtering out who is going to be the best person with the best, to take that job. So that's the only way I think that thing can be eliminated. Then you can have people who produce better results. But I don't see it going away.
As you said, is doable, perfectly doable. We have technology. We have artificial intelligence. We have things that can tell us what we need to do. And that's why the Western nation, the advanced nation, are moving faster than normal, because they're using that capacity of technology, everything. So Africa, more so Nigeria, because we design some of this application, we design some of this technological advancement around the world. We need to encourage ourselves, we need to recognize ourselves, and we need to give us the time to really come and contribute, because Nigerians outside the country, those that really have the expertise, they really must sincerely want to contribute to the development of Nigeria. But one thing for sure is, if you have skills,
Yeah.
you have expertise, you can't go to places where they will be looking at you as if you're a beggar. When there are other people who are begging you to come. There's much you can do for a nation, there's much you can do for a state, there's much you can do for your local government, but especially if they recognize you, it gives you that little positive empowerment that you want to contribute to your nation's development.
It's one of the biggest battles, the way I see it. It is, unless you probably eliminated everybody within the central government and within the local government and so on, because the thing started a long time ago and it's there. It's not going to go away unless there's a massive change and you start putting everybody's CV out. The Tanzanians did that.
Yeah.
The president of Tanzania said, we want CVs of everybody now. So many people lost their jobs because they were not qualified to be in civil service, but were there because cousin, brother, and so on. Now they have a new system.
Now, you see, the problem with that as well, for example, the way I can put it onto the table is, when you sack people, what do you expect them to do if they haven't got a job? So my take is,
you're cleaning the house.
yes, but you see, when you clean the house, you need to make sure that the dirt does not just fly anyhow into the thin air.
So they should just be retired.
So when they're retired, they don't get paid their pension. And that's why people don't want to go away from work. That's why people still go to work, even though they're telling you that their wages have not been paid, they haven't received salary for 3 months, for 6 months. Because they're hoping that when they go to work, Steve will bring a document that need to go to the high table. And when I receive that document from Steve, Steve may give me £2, £5. So that butters me to come back tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah?
I see your point.
Or I might go to work, there is light, and I'll watch telly. Which, if I stay at home, I will not. And if I stay at home, they will use the opportunity to sack me, to say I don't come to work. So the simple thing is, move them aside and make sure that they receive their wages.
Okay.
Then bring a new one that replaces those people that you remove, who will now do the job. And then that agency, that ministry can now begin to deliver.
Okay. It looks like something simple if it's spoken, but rather than
it is.
If
it is simple because it's honestly is the mindset of those who are in government leadership position.
Okay.
Because, for example, there are issues that have been brought to the table where there's a bill. The bill is presented, for example, by a governor. Normally, they said it's on the way, and it takes years and yet not completed. And there are bills that have been presented today. Tomorrow it went to the state. The next day it has been passed, and the following day it has become a law. So it means it can be done.
Okay, we're coming towards the end of the program, and I just wanted one last word from you in terms of how you see the future, for example, of Nigeria. Is it bright now that the elections are over? Is it bright? Is it going to...
I'm just looking at the crystal ball.
Is it bright? Will there be changes? Because they have started taking some of the policies that you mentioned and other politicians. Because from what I've learned, Buhari is now looking through all the policies, all the manifestos, and he's picking up some...
That's very... How come you're that close to President Buhari?
No. It's somebody told me. The chairmen were here. The chairmen were here. They were saying Buhari is looking through all the policies, and he said he pick one from Alistar, he pick one from... So he says, look, this is where Nigerians, if it's a good one. So why can't he create his own policy? I'll try to ask the chairman that. But having said that, what do you think?
Well, for me, anything that makes my country, Nigeria, better and greater is a welcome development.
Okay.
Executed by either the president or any agencies, any parastatal, any ministries, is a welcome development. But our country needs to really move. They need to move positively. We need to be stronger. We need to be more united. We need to put religion and ethnicity aside completely. We need to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I think I'm the only candidate, more or less, that says I have no manifesto. My manifesto is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because that tells me what I need to do if elected. If I give you my manifesto and I told you I'm going to build 1,000-kilometer road and I didn't do it, Are you going to hold me accountable to my manifesto? Yeah. That is wrong. So let's really look at the Constitution. The Constitution says, as a leader, as a president, as a governor, this is what you must do. And then you need to hold these people accountable according to the Constitution, rather than according to the manifesto, which is completely below by far than the authority of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Alistar, thank you very, very much for coming to
It's a pleasure to be here.
And tell us all about, the journey that you've taken so
Thank
far.
you.
And I wish you all the best, wherever you're going to go and whatever you decide.
When I receive your alert, then I'll know you wish me all the best.
Okay. I just want to thank you very much for viewing for viewing us on this program, and I look forward to next week's program. Thank you, and may God bless you.